Hi there, Scorpio. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is your April reading, the overview thematic reading, general reading. It will approximately span the 1st to the 31st of the month. Of course, though, energy is fluid, so it may resonate a few days before the 1st, a few days after the 31st. Dear Scorpio, I was meditating on your energy before I turned on the camera, and I was hearing for you gated community. Gated community, something about perhaps also a certain pool of resources, finances, and I'm imagining it as a sort of physical space, physical location that you are in a certain way forming boundaries around. Take it as you will, and may also be in a almost like in a sort of philosophical way as I'm seeing it too. The Daughter of Wands here flipping right over acrobatically. Okay, Six of Wands facing the right hand stack. Let's pull another stack here on the left hand side. Very own card of the Major Arcana, Death. Dear Scorpio, right at the base, mirroring here this Daughter of Wands, 10 of Pentacles. Okay, smack dab in the middle, mirroring the 9 of Pentacles, 9, 10, the Daughter of Wands, Death. There is an ultimate transformation here of exactly what we feel is, I'm hearing, a direction impending. Okay, beautiful energies. Now, you have the card of Virgo here in the Major Arcana, the Hermit. The Three of Cups in reverse that sits beneath the Hermit, the Chariot in reverse, the card of Cancer in the Major Arcana, right above here, the Hanged Man in reverse. Now, this is the card of Scorpio, the card of Pisces, okay, but it is mirroring the card of Scorpio, and there may be scorpionic energy that is associated with either this individual and or may be two individuals, okay, or then maybe your very own energy as well, okay. The Eight of Cups upright, right beneath this Hanged Man, the Two of Cups upright, interesting, right beneath the Eight of Cups, the Five of Cups upright, right beneath the Two of Cups, and the Star upright, right beneath the Five of Cups. The Justice card, Libra's card of the Major Arcana, right beneath the Star, the High Priestess upright, right beneath the Justice card, and the Fool sitting at the base of this stack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Major Arcana in this stack. Significant players here. Surrounding what has been an emotional storyline and what in a certain way still stands as, I'm hearing, a potential, as you feel it. Now, Scorpio, I'm hearing starry-eyed, starry night, I'm hearing stargazer. It's so interesting because there is a certain conversation that is being upheld in the imagination, through the imagination, the mind's eye. And in that space, Scorpio, what I feel is a certain sense of ultimate possibility that I'm getting that you feel, or specifically that another feels, or that you both feel, as it pertains to how the emotionalism of the experience translates as into a new beginning. And the question is, what has been, and where does it begin? Where does what we have been moving through lead us? As a state of change and transformation, specifically transformation, and the understanding is that it is transformational, that what has been moved through to this point has been almost like a cycle. Okay, and right, the Hanged Man speaking very much of, right, that sort of, it's hanging, it's pending, it's waiting, it's at the mercy in a certain way of also I'm getting a certain momentum and wave of energy. I'm hearing surge, and the question here, I'm hearing surge of power. The question is, again, right, playing on these Plutonic principles, specifically 8th house, Scorpio, Pluto, right, Mars even coming through. if you are dealing with a certain individual, dear Scorpio, I'm getting that, again, there's some focus on matters related to the 8th house, Pluto, Scorpio specifically, coming through. And it can be you and this individual. And I'm just back to mention synastry, if that is a focus here. Are there Pluto contacts, okay, in the synastry of perhaps you and another? Take it as you will. Nonetheless, just back to mention that the Chariot sits just in between these two players, the Death card and the Hanged Man. And it's so interesting because there's this depth, and there's this this profundity that is alluded to. I'm hearing that sets the stage of a certain interaction or lack of interaction, right? It's like the interaction happening on levels that are very deep, okay, and I'm hearing conformative, non-communicative as well, that is then sprinkled with the breeze of sentimentality, the breath of love. And this can be in a very personal way, Scorpio. It can be, right, you and yourself. How is it that I'm hearing tending to my own home? That which has housed me in a certain way, to a certain point of realization that I'm hearing, I want to move, I'm hearing for a number of you. I want to move outside of what I've called home. And if we look at this card, right, the Hanged Man, it's almost as if there's this feeling of incubation, right? It's kind of pending, waiting, held in suspense even, but with a knowingness all of its own at the same time. And it's like the Hanged Man, Pisces, and you've got as well the High Priestess. Okay, it's like you in a certain way are in control in your sort of I'm hearing it as a sort of generalized understanding of what you're working with. I'm hearing in the magnitude of what you're working with, and I'm getting it again, a focus on power, of also potency. I'm getting fertility as well for a number of you. What is it in a certain way that we feel we have, I'm hearing, remained reclusive of? I'm hearing by, from, for, with. I'm hearing without. What is it that in a certain way we recognize is no longer how we wish to project ourselves anymore? I'm hearing the winds have changed, the tide has rolled. And standing here at the edge of time and space, where I greet myself, I'm hearing in the wake of awakening. I recognize what must be left behind. Dear Scorpio, what I've brought with me, not because it has accompanied my mission, but because it has helped me prepare for transformation. And the feeling, Scorpio, is that I'm hearing you are awakening to your, I'm hearing, greatest power. And the birth of self, in a certain way, must acknowledge the presence of the past. I'm hearing parenthood. Take it as you will, however that may resonate with you in particular. Must very clearly delineate, acknowledge what has been and stood as a form of expression in the past. And I'm imagining it, Scorpio, as almost like it's like a butterfly in a cocoon, in a shell. And it is an inversion, right? It's such powerful energies here for you. The Hanged Man, mirroring death, yet again, Chariot smacked up in the middle. There is a transit here. Transformation that, again, has been cyclical. And you want this. You have understood that this direction, that this path leads you not home, but outside of what has encased your power. I'm hearing transit. You are in transit. You are moving outside of yourself, Scorpio. It is a regenerative energy. It's the shedding of the snake skin. Phoenix. Rising. I'm hearing you want this, you want this, you want this. I'm hearing this is your act of self-love. And there's so much alluding to matters of love, concepts of partnership, and the sort of series of experiences that have engaged that framework for us from the past, that has remained with us as a pending notion of self-expression. How is it that we want to engage the concept of love in our transformation of self, of being? How is it that our personal transformation characterizes for us how much I'm hearing how much we love what we do. I'm hearing for a number of you. And how much love we hold for who and what we are. By way of who and what we become. I'm hearing shadow. I'm hearing there is a point of release here, Scorpio. There is a focus on what in a certain way has, again, been, stood as, encased, enveloped a series of emotional experiences that has been, I'm hearing a tone, a factor of tone, tonality, and I'm almost imagining it as singing a song, okay, and it's almost like, well, all of my songs, they were, I'm hearing, I'm hearing they vibrated at a certain frequency, but I'm imagining it almost as if there's a sort of theme I'm hearing of your work, and it can be your creative work, and let's say if you're a photographer, for example, another example, it's like, okay, well, all of my photographs, let's say they were in black and white, they were dark. I'm hearing they had dark edges, okay. I'm hearing dream state specifically. I'm hearing tone again, tone specifically. I'm seeing a shift specifically, also in color, but also in the range that, again, if you're a singer, for example, it's like, okay, I used to sing in this range. My voice would only hit certain notes, but I want to expand outside of that. I'm hearing that range of also self-perception. And so the focus here is on transformation for you, dear Scorpio. And movement, location may also be, I'm hearing an enabler, okay, in a certain way as you may feel it. You may feel, well, changing my environment, my lifestyle, my home, may in a certain way fertilize for me where I move from here in an energetic way, in a personal way. Okay, and so the question could be of, well, what is, I'm hearing the lifestyle, what is, I'm hearing the home, I'm hearing what is the do as well, take it as you will. What, perhaps a focus on weather as well. What is the circumstance, also emotional circumstance, that will capacitate for me and also align specifically with me vibrationally. I'm hearing aesthetically as well, where I see myself moving to next, energetically, as I'm getting it, for spiritually for a number of you as well. Now, Three of Cups is shining light over to the Death card here, and there may be a focus on community and what is that community that we feel will do it for us. And right, the gated community reference was coming through as I was meditating on your energy before I turned on the camera. Dear Scorpio, I'm hearing Capricorn, I'm hearing Sagittarius, I'm hearing Alliance, I'm hearing Alliance. Eight of Swords in reverse, Three of Wands in reverse. You got the Hermit here again, Virgo's card. Two threes, the Three of Cups and the Three of Wands, sandwiching the Hermit. Okay, there's a whole lot of conversation that, be it with others, but from a distance, perhaps for a number of you, or there's something about the communication that is, I'm hearing in steps and series and stages that is almost like, okay, well, it's not like I'm hearing I'm throwing the ball and you're throwing it back. I'm hearing we're not playing ping pong. It's almost as if it's like, okay, it's schematic. It's like, okay, I'm hearing an email, and then I wait, and we must wait, and then you write your email, and then you send it back, and then there's a waiting period, and then we send another email back. And there's something here that is almost schematic about this communication, and it's almost like it is following perhaps certain guidelines, and I'm hearing it's regimented. Okay, now Three of Wands, right, in reverse, Three of Cups yet again, a certain conversation, be it also within yourself, certain, also I'm hearing the meandering of imagination of what, yet again, what place and time, community, space, will uphold certain values that I now hold in the state, I'm hearing, of awakening. I'm hearing of also awakened transformation. And so I'm getting that it's something that you are familiar with. Yet again, what you feel you're moving into, the space that you're moving into, I'm hearing reclusive power, take it as you will. is one that you sort of expect. Okay, and it's like, oh, I knew that it would get to this point. I knew that I wanted to I'm hearing showcase this talent. I knew that I wanted to showcase this aspect of myself, of my being. And in moving closer towards the actuality of that, in an active way, I'm hearing in a public way as well, in a pronounced way, there are certain values and measures that I hold as high priority. What are those ideologies as well that I set into motion through my work in this next stage that in a certain way I feel must be addressed in the conversation of setting and establishing the grounds for change? That which is social and that which is also, I'm hearing specifically, a matter of actually building a community. There is, as you may feel it, an opportunity that is that you are constructing. Specifically, you are constructing yet again, be it by way of your communication with others, be it by way of sheerly, right, how it is that you are personifying, dreaming of, in an emotional way, what you want this next chapter to look like. Okay, and it's almost like I'm seeing you imagining, I want my social interactions to look and feel and taste like this. I want, I'm hearing the community to feed this purpose, okay, socially, emotionally, a social purpose I'm hearing coming into form. I'm hearing faction as well. I'm hearing fragment. So there may be a sort of niche community that you want to sort of idealize. I'm hearing it as idealize and but specifically imagine. Now, the Ace of Cups here shines out at this Death card, the 10 of Pentacles. It's interesting because, right, 3 of Cups and the Ace both shining over at the Death card, right? And it's like there's light and there's darkness. And how is it that in a certain way we are merging a sense of transformation with a sense of I'm hearing it as rekindling, specifically rekindling, reconnecting to what it is that we feel I'm hearing is a source of gratitude. Okay, and that may be, as you may feel it, the underpinning. It's like the more that I focus on what I'm hearing resonate with emotionally, I'm hearing harmonically, also by way of sound in a physical space, the clearer and the more seamless this transformation becomes for me in terms of what I make of it as a not only finishing point, as you may perceive it, as others may perceive it, but as the beginning. I'm hearing of clarity. I'm hearing, again, gratitude. And it's, yes, you've got some heavy players here, right? You've got some strong players here. Death. Again, your very own card in the Major Arcana, Scorpio. But the feeling that I'm getting for you is that you're transmuting simultaneously what I'm hearing has been in a state of transformation to this point. I'm hearing what has been, rather, in a state of transformation to this point, and why, where it leads you, where you want to move from here, what you've experienced in a certain way, again, clarifies for you. So it's like, I'm not just seeing you, it's like sitting in a dark room. I'm hearing reciting vows, okay? I'm hearing consecration. I'm not seeing you, it's not so much about, okay, where have I been and where does that actually physically lead me now? I'm seeing it as almost a sort of, it's almost a synchrony, a synchronization of movement and clarity. Shift and transformation, specifically transit. And I'm hearing practicality. The feeling is here. Cancer, I'm hearing Scorpio, Cancer, Cancer, Chariot, wants to speak out. Scorpio. I'm hearing Capricorn though here as well with the Ace of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles and Death. The feeling that I'm getting for you is that as much as there is a sense of transformation yet again, right? And the pandemonium that may come along with that in any kind of way. Okay, it's like, I'm imagining there is almost a sort of hurriedness with which this transformation is taking place. Okay, and again, it's like a point of release, specifically a point of release. But I'm imagining somebody who's almost moving, and I'm seeing papers blowing in the air, and it's almost like a sort of a tornado type of energy, type of feeling, vision. I'm hearing Lucy. Okay, take it as you will. Nonetheless, as much as there is, right, this sense of sort of change and transformation, there is a starting point that lends a certain stability for you, of clarity, of where you stand. Not because you stand still, but because you understand how you are in motion, how you are in a state of transformation from one step to the next. And it's interesting because it's this sort of, again, simultaneous movement and stillness, change and transformation. And again, I'm hearing practicality and almost there's a focus on the physicality also of the experience, and it may be one that is related to the physical body in some kind of way. I am getting a focus on the left side of the body for those of you who may be familiar with how energy moves through. Nonetheless, there's a question here, dear Scorpio, of what is to be created physically, materially, tangibly, what in a certain way is to be done, perhaps of a certain pool of finances and resources as it pertains to the context within which this transformation is taking place. And I'm getting that there may be a conversation that surrounds this topic for you. Now you have here again the Six of Wands upright, with the Ace of Swords peeking out just beneath in reverse this stack. There is, as I'm getting at I'm hearing again, a certain decision, and you have the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Swords, both in reverse. A certain decision that is to be made, that is also perhaps to be made public, that is to be determined, though, first, by way of where we take ourselves in an energetic way, on an energetic level, amidst a state of personal transformation. And I'm getting, though, that what you are preparing for is very much still taking place, even if you're not publicly sort of proclaiming it, okay? You have here the Two of Swords upright, right over here, the Four of Swords in reverse. Whoa. Okay, it's snowing outside. More or less a blizzard. I'm right. Okay, originally from California, so when there is snow, it seems to be perhaps a storm when it's maybe not so big of a deal. Okay, but anyway, so it's snowing really, really hard outside right now, and just as I picked up these two cards, a bucket of snow, like buckets of snow, just dropped right outside the window, okay? Which was very interesting. right? Because there's a roof on top. So anyways, okay, looking at that, 2 of Swords upright and the 4 of Swords in reverse. There is here, as I'm getting it, there's been a certain question, and I'm hearing burning question of desire. You have the 8 of Pentacles that mirrors here the 2 of Swords, the 2 of Wands, okay, upright, right beneath here, this 8 of Pentacles. There's been a focus on direction. What is the direction that we take? What is it that we also lay as a certain strategic, I'm hearing foundation, I'm hearing the foundry, I'm hearing what is the framework, okay, of the direction that we are to take, the path that we are to take on creatively by way of passion. And I'm hearing it's burning. It's like you're like, we got to make a decision. I'm hearing we've got to move. We've got to move forward in a way that is conclusive, that is directive, and specifically directed by way of our passion. There is, though, at the same time, it's like, what do I do with all this stuff? What do we all do with all this stuff? And what is it that we create? What is it that we also release ourselves from the necessity to create? And there's a focus here, and it's like sort of head to head. What is practical and what is also, I'm getting it as like material, financial, and I'm also hearing strategic, and what is otherwise dynamic, impulsive, where there's no other way to sort of characterize our actions by other than simply desire. I'm feeling it, I want to do it, then I'm gonna move forward and capacitate. I'm hearing, and to create again sheets of ice falling down here. I'm going to pave the path for myself, even if, let's say, it's one that wavers, okay, even if it's one that wavers, there is a sense of direction that I find in the sheer moving forward. Now you have a focus on perception, absolute Scorpio here, 2 of Swords, 4 of Swords, 4 of Swords in reverse. Whatever I'm hearing has remained as I'm hearing a thought, a thinking pattern of this is necessary. I need this. I need, perhaps as it relates to matters of career finances. I feel it's again, it's almost like it holds certain. It's a matter of perception. I feel that I'm hearing need a big pad. I'm hearing that I need I'm hearing launching pad, that I'm hearing I need a lot of surface space, perhaps a lot of land for a number of you. I feel like I'm hearing it needs to be, I'm hearing formal as well. I'm hearing formalized. I'm hearing constructed for a number of you. Whatever it is that has, in a certain way, I'm hearing portrayed for you, to you, by you, a certain necessity. I'm hearing for financial gain. There is a certain recognition of priority, of how we isolate experiences that serve us, how we identify what is a source of passion for what we create. And no longer is it a question of, I'm hearing dynamic. I want to be dynamic. I'm placing a high priority on the ability to be dynamic, and I'm hearing to move. I'm here to move my assets, to move through my assets. I want to be mobile. I'm hearing transit again, and I'm getting a focus here on the Chariot card that mirrors here the Eight of Pentacles. I am getting very clear on what holds value and meaning for me, and no longer, yet again, is it the question, the Saturnian sort of what I'm hearing is, no longer is it a question of what is to be considered as a foundation of my success. And again, I'm hearing high time, you've been waiting. I'm hearing high tide, you've been waiting to gain greater sort of perspective of your own perception of the work that you work through and the work that you make all your own. I'm hearing home home. I'm hearing in your home specifically for a number of you, and how it is that perhaps the home life, family life, circumstance in a certain way relates to what I'm hearing your behavior, your work life, okay? And so it's almost like you may have felt entrenched in a certain way in either one of those spheres. Okay, I feel my home life is overtaking my work life. I feel like my work life is overtaking my home life. I feel like they've got their hands in each other's pockets. What is it that in a certain way I recognize must be left at home? I'm hearing for home. For home. For a number of you, it is a focus on conversation. How it is that you communicate of matters that are a reflection of need, of desire, of the perception of the need and desire, and what is communicated, and I'm hearing specifically in a passionate way. And specific message coming through for a number of you. Okay. Nonetheless, though, dear Scorpio, I'm hearing Capricorn, very strongly here, very, very strongly here with the Ten of Pentacles and the Four of Swords in reverse. Yet again, okay, you are isolating passion, Scorpio, isolating passion, and it's happening on a personal level for you, and it's happening very swiftly as I'm getting it. It's happening also in your sheer orientation of perception. It's like I no longer see my work and my home life and my work. I'm hearing my work situation and my performance specifically, by way of what I'm creating in the ways that I have. What determines for me a state of success is my motive, is the motivation that I carry through my work, wherever it is that I happen to create, wherever it is that I happen to carry out my work. And again, the focus being on perhaps being mobile and the ability to sort of influence your work by way of that mobility, by way of that dynamism and the authenticity of self-expression in every moment. Dear Scorpio, thank you so much for tuning in. Love and light to you on this transformational journey forward. Again, you've got your own card here in the Major Arcana Death sitting right at the base of your reading. Transformation abound. Love and light to you all. And I highly recommend you check out your rising, ascendant, or moon sign as well. You may greatly resonate with your moon, your rising sign. I know I resonate a lot with my rising sign as well, which is Scorpio, and my moon sign as well, which is Sagittarius. My sun sign is Pisces. Okay, for those of you who may not already know, for those of you who've been following for quite some time, thank you so much for your dear love and light that you share on this journey forward. And I've just launched a new service. I'm back to mention. It's the mentorship session that focuses on matters of career, soul path calling. So if that's something that you want to sort of take a live one-on-one approach with via Skype or phone, then I've now launched that service. And in that session, we'll take a look specifically at your birth chart, taking a look at your elemental propensities, your planetary placements, house placements, so on and so forth, to sort of gain insight as to perhaps what industries may be most conducive for the channeling of your energy. So if you feel like you would like more insight as to what are my skills and my talents seen by way of my birth chart, what is my particular elemental composition, and what yet again what perhaps sort of fields of work as well, spheres of work and influence. I'm hearing influence specifically public. I'm getting public figure may be most conducive for the channeling of my self-expression. I'm getting especially that which is creative. Okay, so nonetheless, if that's something of interest to you, and again, if you feel like I want to talk through it, and I feel it bouncing ideas around with somebody who can take a look at my chart live with me there, then that may be something of interest to you, and you can take a look further via my website. The link is in the bio description box below. If you've got any questions, feel free to email me at alchemyandyou@gmail.com. And you can also chat me live via my website, Alchemy and You. There should be a little box that pops up on the bottom right-hand side of the web page. And if you're going to leave a message, you're Scorpio, and if I don't get back to you immediately, then just leave your email address so I can get back to you there. All right, thank you so much, dear Scorpio, for tuning in. Love and light to you all. And I know some of you have been asking, where are the mid-March readings? Are there mid-March readings? They are on my website. They're now available for order. For those of you who've been following for quite some time, a few months now, you know the protocol has been 15th to the 31st is going to be available via the website Alchemy and You, 222 per sign that you could order. That helps me continue with them. So thank you so much for your dear patience with the delivery of them. Always, if you've got any questions about delivery, you can feel free to email me as well. And let's see, any other announcements? I think that's it. One more announcement. We are in pre-Shadow Mercury retrograde. If you are making an important decision, signing a contract, anything of the sort, you may want to wait until we reach the beginning part of May, as that is when the post-shadow period goes direct. So Mercury retrograde, right? It's like whatever is sort of related to the archetype of Mercury, communication, travel, transit, writing, signing papers, again, communication, speaking, can sort of tend to go haywire. It's a beautiful time for review. So whatever it is that perhaps you've already been working on from the past that remains unresolved in some kind of way, or that could benefit from some revision, some review editing, Mercury retrograde is an incredibly insightful time for honing in on exactly how it is that we, I'm hearing, wish to project, that we wish to also package. I'm getting specifically certain messages, okay? So thank you so much again, dear Scorpio, for tuning in. Love and light to you all, and thank you so much for your dear support on this transformational journey forward. It is one for all of us here. Love and light. Bye.